Hey, what's going on, everybody? John All-22 coming back here. I'm going to jump right into the video. I'm not going to have too much intro here. Looking at Robert Saleh's defense, we're going to take a look at the cover three plays from last week that they ran. Making a quick video, try to get an understanding of what the defense is about. Then we're bringing it into Madden, and we start working on that scheme of the Saleh scheme. Also, the Texans run the same defense, so we'll go from there. So let's just take a look. A lot of things that, a lot of breakdowns that I've seen, most NFL teams are in that 30-40% range of cover three. The thing is, a lot of teams, a lot of publications that break it down, I think they put the run game stuff. They don't know when it's a run play. Sometimes it's hard to know where the ball's going. So long story short, they just put it in the cover three bucket. Other thing too is Saleh's defense is known to have throughout this time be a zone drop defense, but also have matching principles. If you guys remember with the Seattle Seahawks, their play their cover three, but like here we have our corners pressing, and they're playing basically man-to-man match rules. So it's one of those things where we're playing Meg in this situation. Is that cover three zone? Well, it's labeled in this system as cover three zone, but maybe it's not. It's really cover three match principles, right? So it's kind of hard to tell. So I'm just going to use my coaching eye and just kind of talk it through. And then also, it's really hard, obviously, versus run players to know for sure because, you can't really see everybody's drops because nobody's dropping. So we have to just kind of, what I would do, when I was coaching is I would just put them in the category that the team is known for. If they're known to be a match team, it's match. If they're known to be a man team, it's man. You can get the structure of the safety structure to know if it's cover one or cover three, because you have one high safety. But I want to let you know. So anyway, let's just get through the game real quick. Like I told you, I want to get through this pretty quick. So they're going to get a drift route combination, classic Shanahan concept, play action fake, throw the little X dig behind the window of the linebackers getting sucked up on the play action, right? So simple route concept. And I want you just to notice that the corner is pretty much megged press, right? So remember that old Seattle system from back in the day. These guys used to be up in the face of their receivers as much as possible, and they would go through their footwork. They would take a pure step. They would basically lock up man to man. Okay. Look at the linebackers here. This is where somebody else would break this down and be like, well, linebackers, if it was man, they'd be hugging up on their backs, right? But now, no, they're like sitting there and playing zone. Now, this could be honestly because this is, I don't know if somebody got faked out, but it looks like it's actually cover three, zone pressure, right? So that's another thing too. Like the resources that I use for my information doesn't break it down completely between zone pressure and cover three. So there's just a lot of cover threes mixed in with zone pressure. So whatever. All right. So I just want to kind of start that way. Yeah, it's definitely a zone pressure. You can see that we have safety blitz, right? So this is actually to the left. So this is the strong safety. My fault. That's why we double check. This is the passing strength. So he went into C gap, actually. He went off the edge. Okay. So this is the other side. So this is our free safety here in the middle. Either way, it's still a safety pressure. The design is just bringing a single safety off the edge here. Strong side stinger. All right. So let's go to the next play here. I'm gonna skip over run plays unless that's something I really need to see, but we're gonna just focus on pass plays so we can get some more coverage talk. All right. So just taking a look here, we got third down here. So this is gonna be interesting. They motion from empty, they motion back out. We'll take a look at the front in a second, but we are bringing a strong safety pressure off the edge. Again, personality-wise, usually single blitz, one player blitzing off the defense, working games maybe on the inside. See a lot of talking going on over here. I'm not sure why, but they are playing. I pause the film right here. It looks like they're playing a cover three structure, right? With you kind of tell with the deep third, underneath middle hook, through receiver hook in our game. This would be a seam flat. This would be a seam flat. Now, this is a quick, what we were saying, under route, so it should be passed off to this guy. He doesn't really have any work right now, but he's watching number two. All right, there's a window that could be created here, but these guys should be playing more of a, not true zone, but a match third, where a tight third is what we would call it, where if a guy goes vertical, you're going to end up kind of sticking to him, right? So let's just take a look. This is a quick game pass, which happens a lot. People will do this, just try to get the ball out quick, try to get some yards, try to hit the Niners in some openings, which they kind of do, kind of just rally and make this tackle. There's just a lot of space here. Also kind of shocked a little bit. Oh, that's the mug linebacker here who is They're in a single mug look, and he kind of gets back, but he doesn't get a lot of depth. He doesn't get enough depth. He should get back another step or two. Watch. He gets kind of caught up there in the disguise. Ball's out pretty damn quick, though. I ain't gonna lie. I do believe they get the first down, which is a shame. It's a shame. I think, reading through three step is still something that people need to do. If I look at the footwork of the DBs real quick, are they just flying out of there? Yeah, they're kind of reading it. It's just a well executed play. I think the middle backer just being in that mug position made it really tough for him to get back into that window. So good job by the offense scheming that up. See the next play. Okay, so we get situation is 1st and 15 again. Interesting. So let's just go with the coverage shell, showing that 2 shell. Compressed looks, I can see that being a nice way to start versus a compression. I'm gonna have a plan for different shells with different alignments, different formations. I'll talk to you more about it later. But to me, one of the things I struggle with when I play the game is remembering what shell I was in the last time I called the defense. If I come out in different formations, so we're gonna kind of have certain formations, fronts as I call them, to have certain shells already kind of like built in, and we're gonna run different stuff. So we'll figure it out later. But right now, it's a 2 high shell. They go to a bunch. Oh, they motion back 2x2, but it's still 2x2 compressed. Just watch this. It looks like we got another insert, which I love this stuff. This is going to be a big part of my plan too. Thank goodness they are doing it. But it looks like zone coverage, spot drop zone. Right now, I just want to show you something here. It's really interesting. Watch here. We're going to get some sort of over route, right? This is the weak side hook player, technically, right? This is our nickel dropping out. He drops down, doesn't get a lot, it doesn't get down too deep. And watch when this guy crosses across, he kind of treats it like that up rule. So, in a sense, he's using this like not a 3-up necessarily, but more like a 2-up. And that's what they do a good job. And Niners do that. So they have that matching principle built into their defense. So in order for us to do that in Madden, you're going to have to probably user that guy and kind of run with that guy. But you're looking for that. And this is the thing that I really want to preach. I think this is worth the price of admission today in the next video is we have our zone defenses deep, right? We have maybe ways to make these guys play short by playing like underneath coverage and changing up their depths. The thing that is the secret to me sauce is having this level here of a defender that can play in that second window, that second level, right? Because it's easy for an offense to say, put somebody low, put somebody high, right? Read the defender. Defender goes low, throw high. Defender goes high, throw low. But when you throw in there another defender that kind of like is playing on this second level of depth, it really makes it hard. And a lot of people, to be honest with you, abuse defenses by trying to run somebody deep, somebody here, and having somebody run something in the middle. And a lot of users who are like a lot of guys who are gamers try to create that by running a slant route, right? And running it all the way across the field and throwing it when it gets around this stage, right? So, or in our even sim world, everybody loves running a dagger concept, right? Something in here. They have a route they want to throw to early, but they kind of almost use this like a check down. So if we could just kind of patrol this area with our user, that's fine. Now, there are other coverages like cover 2, right? Where you have a middle linebacker running through and he kind of serves as that kind of like semi in between second level, right? With the middle read. So I just want to talk about that. I think that's the special sauce that we can kind of get in our game that you guys can use right now and give you some more wins on defense. And it kind of also goes back to the same idea. I'm rambling, I know, but we have the 3 high stuff, right? That's that in between level where you don't know what this guy's going to do. And you can kind of use that yourself or just let it rock out and let it play. And it plays pretty well for you. So just want to kind of put that out there. But back to the coverage wise, it looks like we are getting spot drop zones. Everybody's eyes on the quarterback except this guy here. This drop down player, he's in such good position. We always love talking about that, right? A safety coming down, good position to do what? See what's going on, be able to capture that player. I mean, I'm not sure the design of this route, but this route really doesn't have a whole lot to it. I'm trying to see what's going on here. So we kind of have a flat route Took a smash combination at the bottom, right? Flat, smash. We got a over, and we got a sit down and a check down. I mean, there's nothing there. He's gonna have to throw it to the flat, and he does. And that's the beautiful thing about having zone defense. This is what something just to take note in football, right? This ball's thrown, and he just let it go like half a second ago, not even. Rally, rally, rally. They can see it. Even these guys rally, you know? So, like, that gets more hats to the ball compared to if you're playing man sometimes or match. You guys are not going to necessarily be seeing the ball thrown. So, that's the positive thing about this style of defense. All right, let's go to a few more of these plays. This is fun. Okay, we finish up here pretty soon with the next two plays. This is 2nd and 10, and I just want to watch the rotation again. Front wise looks a little bit different. Now this formation is it's going to become pretty much a wing close formation. This guy's going to motion down, I think. But we have our two tight ends here. It looks like our front. Let's take maybe a look at the end zone. I do love how they didn't. They got rid of the wide 9. They put this guy into like a head up 7 technique or 6 technique. It's kind of hard to tell, but safety wise rotation, 2 high shell to start, right? Kind of a close alignment. This guy starts to walk up, and then there's the kind of rock and roll, and then he ends up bringing pressure off this side. It's funny. I remember hearing people after this game talking about the Niners didn't pressure a lot. I'm seeing like almost half the plays in the single high structure looks are pressures. So I don't know what that's about. Sometimes people don't know if there was a pressure, but safeties were definitely coming a lot in this game. Let's take a look here. So we're gonna get this motion. It's good timing off the boot. Good execution by the quarterback. All right. Something to think about from an offense standpoint. You have to always be on these naked. So this maybe, yeah, it's definitely a naked. Meaning that there's nobody really. I mean, they're blocking the edge a little bit, but this is something that you can't really account for. It's a safety blitz off the edge like this. The O-line is not looking at it. They don't see it. The tight end doesn't see it. Ball has to come out quick, but the quarterback should recognize that, right? And then as soon as he pops his head around, just get some more depth, right? And get rid of the ball so you don't get sacked. It's hard to do sometimes with the camera angles in Madden, but you just got to be aware of that. Having an athletic quarterback helps. All right, but I just want to show you that. That's just a 5-man pressure again, right? Playing 3 under, but we have our 3 deep. This guy's megged up on this guy. He's going to match him. He's in a tough spot, right? He has to play this, but he's just reacting to the ball thrown, and he comes down and makes the tackle there. Our flat defender is totally sucked in here. He's going to try to get out late, but he's not going to get back in time. Our flat defender would be this this Will linebacker, but he gets sucked up. So, easy little boot play, true boot, really. Good timing with the routes. I just wanted to show you that. So we got ourselves a 3rd down here. You know, with the Niners, they were one of the first teams that really kind of, really dug into this. And now everybody has it. All the playbooks give you this option. So it looks like we get a load front, right? It looks like we have 3 guys over here. We got our edge player here, big guy, and then we have a mug. So this is a load single mug, okay? We have our backer here in the middle, nickel, the safety messing around. He's sitting on this hash, but I guarantee it's probably going to be, they're probably going to rotate. He's probably going to come down here and he's going to go back to the middle. That's my guess, but let me just watch the play with you guys. Show that pressure weak. Oh, looks like they're going to bring it weak. Another 5-man pressure. So as I see the pressure, I'll come back to that. I'm just going to take a look at the structure of the defense. Yeah, this is interesting here. It looks like we're hot. Looks like we're bringing 6. So we are playing with 2 under, maybe 3 deep. I could also call this maybe quarters hot, with kind of like the backside is playing, I would say Meg, but the reason that this guy, the fact that Lenore is not matching this player, I'll tell you why this player ran this route here in a second, but he kind of comes back to him, kind of recognizes that, hey, that's kind of, I wasn't anticipating this. This is interesting. I'm not 100% sure this is 3. A 3 structure. It could be, but it doesn't really matter because we're still playing 2 under. Now I'm looking at this guy in the middle. He's in a good spot to actually make this play. He just kind of like gives up on it. I know it's hard to do this stuff when you are. And who's the one that's dropping? Actually, they have a defensive defensive a big guy. No wonder he's not used to doing that. You see how he's kind of drifting. Quarterback's foot. Quarterback stopped in his drop. He should stop his footwork too. Quarterback stop, you stop, right? And then now you should probably peek over to see what's going on. You would have seen that slant. It at least blew it up. Again, the Texans are doing a good job of getting rid of the ball quick. Now, this is not a design route here. Okay. This is because I guarantee you, this is because we have an extra player blitzing, right? So anytime there's an overload pressure, and usually they're going to bring a guy here, but as soon as you see this free safety get involved, right, and he blitzes as well, usually that's called a sight adjustment. So protection wise, we don't have an answer for them bringing 4 weak. So however this thing works out, I believe these guys are coming. This is 4 guys weak, which is away from the protection usually, where there's less guys to block. This player here would just run a slant route, the outside X receiver. So that's called a sight adjustment. All right, sight adjustment, something that every team has built into their protections. It's part of the protection scheme that the receivers need to know. It's not a hot, so there's still a hot route, but it's usually designed with something else coming over here. He could have been a hot if he was already a drag or something, but he's not. He actually has a deep route. I'm pretty sure of it, but then he just sees that he's always alert. You see the kind of receivers with point and stuff like that. He's always alert to, hey, I'm a sight adjust. And not every offense has sight adjustments, but most West Coast teams, it's a big part of their offense. And he's looking at him, he sees him, right? And then it's just a one step right now, go. And good job by the QB to recognize it. So interesting little scheme here. They bring 6. I think somebody else tried to drop out late, if I'm not mistaken. No, he didn't. They brought 6. Another very aggressive call here. Very exotic call. And good job by the offense. All right. So we watched about 6, 7, 8 clips, and half of them were pressures. So it's really interesting. The numbers don't say that Niners are a big pressure team. They're like 24%, which is pretty good in my opinion. I would say right now in this single high structure, they are a heavy pressure team. So, but they do show cover 2, and then they kind of try to time the blitz up. They don't just line up and cover 3 looks and go. So, all right. What I'll do here in the next video is just kind of go through a little bit of a chart that I'm putting together for everybody. For anybody who wants to run different defenses. It's kind of an overview of what's going on with your team based off the numbers that I have. You can also look at the numbers that somebody like Match Quarters has, Cody. Just plug and play, and then you can kind of start coming up with your own schemes and kind of in the Madden/college world of how you would organize your playbook. I'll show you how I'm going to organize my book, my favorite section. If you are using a custom playbook, you can just put the plays in that you want, which is great. But I've gone away from custom playbooks, guys. I'm using more stock playbooks just because it takes a lot of time to build a custom book. I don't have that much time to do that anymore. So I think stock books are great too, because then you always have those plays that you may never use, but they're kind of sitting back there in the archives, right? In the little special areas. So, all right, man. Appreciate you guys listening to me today. I will hit you guys up later, man. Peace.